Hello, fellow Star Wars fans. My name is Daniel, creator of the channel, and I will be your host today. So this is this is going to be the first sort of episode of Krayt Dragon Talk, which is a new sort of podcast thing where which I'm going to try out, see how it goes. Where I'm going to talk to voice actors, editors, etc., people who have worked with the channel, and so on, for Star Wars audio comics. Okay, so this is not something I'm going to do weekly or even monthly. And I may only do it a couple of times. I'm not sure, I'm not exactly sure how many of these I'm going to do, but anyway, without further ado, I just wanted to take this first episode of the podcast to kind of talk about how the channel started, for any of you viewers who may be interested in how we got started on this, making comic dubs. So it started, with the 2015 Darth Vader comics created by Kieran Gillen, and I believe those were probably the first Star Wars comics I had ever read. And I was really getting into Star Wars like I hadn't before at that time. And I really enjoyed the story of seeing Vader between episode 4 and 5, and the fallout of the Death Star, and then just seeing how it was very cool to see how they tied in the prequels to Vader. That was kind of like the first, at least in the new canon, it was like the first big tie-ins of the prequels and the original trilogy at the time. And I know comics had done it before in Legends and so on. A lot of that stuff is good too, but this was my first exposure to that kind of thing, and I thought it did it in a really wonderful way. And so I previously had wanted to do some I wanted to direct and edit some voice acting projects, some kind of dubs. And, so when I read the first issue of this Vader comic, it seemed like a really good opportunity to get into it. So I did. And I just made the first one, got on castingcallclub.com, and found a Vader, found a, Emperor and the rest of the cast, and just went for it. And then it kind of gained a lot of traction. People liked it a lot, and then other Star Wars fans started contacting me, and then I got a Discord, and they wanted to also make some comic dubs. So especially my friend Rob, we met online, and so he wanted to get Son of Dathomir done, because the Son of Dathomir, obviously the Clone Wars episodes for that were never made, so we wanted to get that done as sort of its own, get it done as if it was a completed Clone Wars episodes. So he worked on that, and then I kept on working on Vader, and then I wanted to do Shattered Empire, which was, right after Return of the Jedi, and I wanted to get that done. And this all, took off. And in the beginning, I called the channel Krayt Dragon Films, and I still go by Krayt Dragon online. And on this channel, obviously. And then, eventually as the channel grew, as I saw other Star Wars channels growing, it just seemed like, for the amount of effort and everything that we were putting into these videos, that like maybe we weren't just being noticed as much because of the name. So, eventually we decided, we need to change the name. Um, and so we also had ideas for Marvel stuff and DC stuff and then, other comics. So, as we got more and more people on board, we were able to kind of like get to a point where we could release one audio, well, we called it, comic dub, one comic dub a week. And it was usually like three new ones a week. And then the fourth week was kind of like a compilation, the full volume videos of previous comics put together. So we were able to do that for, I think a couple years. And at that point, when we decided to do Marvel, DC, etc., we renamed it the Comic Experience because we were not just going to do only Star Wars, mainly Star Wars, but also other stuff. So we called it the Comic Experience, got a nice logo, got a nice theme composed by Aaron Weatherford. And that's basically how it became the Comic Experience. But then, after a while, we still felt like it wasn't getting noticed enough. So we wanted Star Wars in the name. We wanted something that seemed original. We just want to just call it Star Wars Comic Dubs. We just wanted something that sounded a little more unique. And, I thought, these are kind of like audiobooks for comics. Like if you just listen to the audio here and then just read along with comics, it's like an audiobook for comics. So I came up with calling it just audio comics. So then we became Star Wars Audio Comics. And right now we have this sweet logo and we kept the same theme music and so on. So then we've done quite a lot of videos since then. We have over 100 audio comics released, and you can find our playlist that's in chronological order of all the canon stuff. Some legend stuff, but obviously definitely not as much. We're not against Legends at all. Legends has a lot of great stuff, and for those who prefer Legends, of course, that's totally fine. But we are obviously more canon focused, and like a large part of that is because I just like how it ties in. A lot of the stuff ties in with the movies and TV shows, in the comics, in the books, and so on. And it's all current new stuff, and it hasn't been perfect the way they do it. Some of the stuff in comics has been ignored by animated series, for example. The whole Kanan Order 66 scene is a big one. Sometimes comics themselves contradict each other just within Star Wars comics. For example, in Shattered Empire, we get our first appearance of Shara Bey, Poe Dameron's mother, and she seemingly meets Luke, Han, and Leia, and all for the first time. First time they speak. They have not met before. But then we go into the current comic run between Empire and Return of the Jedi, and they definitely know each other. They're definitely planning rebel attacks and everything. And Shara and Kes Dameron helped build Hoth Base and all this. So they definitely know each other. And so by the time we get to Shattered Empire, which is after Return of the Jedi, it doesn't make any sense that they're like, "Oh, hello, Shara Bey, nice to meet you." So it just it doesn't make a lot of sense. And I'm thinking about doing like a little bit of a canon edit, like a retconned canon fix of those scenes if I can, but won't be for some time. But anyway, we are now Star Wars Audio Comics, and we've been doing this since 2015. And life has gotten busy for a lot of us. I'm in school, I'm finishing up a professional degree, and the rest of us are just busy with life and jobs and so on in school, and so we have not been able to keep it up as one audio comic a week. So but that's okay. Used to be a lot more concerned about getting tons and tons of views, but not that I don't care about views and subscribers and likes and all that. That's a great part of doing YouTube. But, we have, over 70,000 subscribers right now, over like 3 million views throughout everything. And, I'm happy with where we are at. And obviously still want views, but, this is just a hobby. We can't make this a full-time thing. Would be nice if we could, but also, we don't own the stuff. We're just fans doing adaptations of comics, and we always try to encourage people actually buy the comics and read the comics, and not just only watch comics through us. So now we're at a point where we only make audio comics as we can, and we're still in the middle of producing our largest project ever with War of the Bounty Hunters, which is over 30 issues, all crossing over, which we will have placed meticulously, chronologically, so it all hopefully makes sense. And they're going to be long videos, like at least three, maybe four, like 2-hour long videos. They're movie length. And those are still coming. We're still working on those. We got other things in the works too. And that's where we are right now. And also, before I forget, shout out to Fulcrum Entertainment. The Fulcrum Entertainment podcast, the Fulcrum Report, was originally part of the Comic Experience, and we had it on the channel. And then as we went on, we realized it was better to have that as its own separate channel. So Gilbert runs that now, along with Harrison is a frequent guest on there. So I think it's mainly those two guys right now. And that's also a place for, other comic dubs with Marvel and DC, etc. Which, there's not a lot of those right now, but I think they do have plans for other ones in the future. So, but we did do a really fun Spider-Man comic a few years back, which was released on the main channel, but it's also on Fulcrum Entertainment. So anyways, shout out to Fulcrum Entertainment. Check them out. They got a lot going on with gaming, etc. And that is, in a nutshell, the story of Star Wars Comics, the channel formerly known as The Comic Experience, formerly known as Krayt Dragon Films, and then formerly known as just my public YouTube channel with my name. Yeah, so, and so, like I said, this is not going to be a super regular thing where I do these podcasts, and I wanted to just release this on my other channel this time because, just in case people just didn't want this in their feed. But for the next one, I am going to have an interview with Kevin Urban, who has been our voice of Darth Vader for several years now. So since nearly the beginning of the channel. And, we're going to talk about what it's like voice acting, what it's like to deal with, AI generated voices, and how that is going to affect voice acting and all that. And so that should be a fun conversation coming up next week. So look forward to that. And if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments, and then I'll get it to them. And that's all today. So thanks everyone for listening in. And then look forward to the interview with Kevin Urban and also more audio comics to come. Until next time, and may the Force be with you.